Hey there, welcome to Synth Seeker. My name's Luke. Here's a video that's been a while in the making. So what we're going to be looking at today is the Nord Drum 3P. I've been looking for a drum synthesizer for a long time. I tried a lot of different things. Roland drum machines, Arturia drum machines, modular, and really what it comes down to for me is I like to place the drums exactly where I want them, when I want them. And I use loops for temp tracks, but I just go back and sort of revisit them usually. And what I really want is a drum machine that doesn't have an inbuilt sequencer, which is, given the propensity of groove boxes in the market today, that's like looking for a unicorn, right? There's a few, but they're very boutique, very expensive. And I just wanted something that was simple, not complicated. I didn't need a bunch of generative stuff. I didn't necessarily need something that sounded like circuit bent toys. I just needed something interesting that, again, was simple. And I will hand it to Nord. They have definitely made something that's relatively simple, easy to wrap your head around. And that's what we're going to look at today. All right. So just to get it out of the way, here are some sound samples. These are just, I'm going to play like 2-bar loops that I've prepared using different kits on the system. These are just default kits. The thing about this drum machine is it's not samples for the most part. It's generated, synthesized drum sounds. And it really likes to do tonal stuff, pitched rhythm and things like that. It can do your standard hi-hat, snares, kick, tom. Absolutely. But it really excels at sort of weird synth rhythm, synth drums. I like, like the DFAM, it's not an 808 kind of sound, right? This is kind of true with the Nord drum. It can get close to that stuff. But if you're looking to do, XOX style stuff, you might look elsewhere. But if you want to get into the synthesis of drum sounds, have really dynamic stuff that changes dramatically with velocity and things like that, this is an interesting beast. So let's just listen for a bit. I'm just going to do 2 bars of a few of these kits. And I won't talk over it too much. And the last one. Anyway. All right. So that's a taste of some of these kits. Now, looking at the architecture of the drum machine, it's, like I said, it's simple, and I love simple. It is a 6-voice, 6-part multitimbral synthesizer, basically. You've got 6 monosynths, 1 for each channel. There's pads, if you're an actual drummer, play the pads, and I am so not that. I am driving this thing from sequences or from a surface. And basically, every synth voice is identical engine-wise. If I pull up the diagram here, basically, every voice has 3 parts, a tonal part, and a click part, and then a noise part. And you combine those, you can mix them together, you can manipulate them with filters and envelopes, and really just very straightforward. But the dynamicness of the envelopes is what makes it so interesting, in that it's not just a single envelope curve that based on velocity raises and lowers. The shape of the curve is changeable, and it goes. You can modify where you want it to be based on what your velocity is. It's really a fascinating sort of engine. But it's real straightforward. So you take those 3 pieces, you mix them together, you apply some dynamics to them, filtering, things like that. You've got a delay, a reverb that's global for all 6 voices, and then some panning, and out you go. Take that. Once you wrap your brain around one of the voices, all 6 are basically the same thing, right? And they are, the tonal aspect is, true synthesis. So you can use this to make drum sounds, but you can also use it to make monosynths. This is voice 1, channel 1. Right, so we're getting this out of a drum machine. All right, so I've built this like a little horn voice, and we've got our bass. And then a little... There are a bunch of different synthesis algorithms available in the system. I'll go through the list in a second. And then we've got this pluck. All right. And then kick. And a little hat. And basically what I did was make these sounds. It's part of a kit. The kit's been saved. And then went out and recorded some parts. Really. And so if we just start our, we'll start our hats and our kick going, right? And you can just play on top of it. You can treat it like a synth. Right? And I've basically got clips made. So. This is all 6 voices coming from the Nord lead, the Nord drum 3P. 4 parts out of rhythm bits, and you can just treat it like a sequenced synth. Right? So, I mean, it's great. It's a wonderful tool. It sounds fantastic. All right, so let's take a look at the synth itself. Hang on a sec. Okay, so, yeah, I'm sorry, I know it's a little dark here. Let's take a look at some of the sounds that you can get through this. The Nord drum is not 1 knob per function, but it's, if you flip it around, it's one function knob for all functions. Okay, so there's a data entry knob here, and then there's a button these are all basically mode buttons. So it's basically you choose, I want to change the wave that's being used for the tone. That's how I do it. If I want to change the frequency cutoff for the filter, I would do it with that, right? You can basically change these modes, right? How much reverb and delay do I want, things like that. And then every button has a primary sort of mode and then a secondary mode below it. They're both accessible at any given time. So if I choose the wave and the spectra, this lets me pick the wave that I want to use. And then I can adjust the spectra. So this is the wave. This is the spectra. Read the manual as far as understanding what it is. Let me take you through some of these sounds. It'll be a lot simpler. So I've got a loop here. All right. So this is just a basic loop, analog style sine wave. All right. So the tone is just this sine. Let's put let's put a little bit of reverb and delay on it, right? So I activate reverb delay mode, right? Now this knob controls how much reverb. I've got it set to be, I think, a hall. If I hold down upper param, I can start adding some delay. All right, but let's go back to wave. So our first wave is just a sine, and you can't really do anything with the spectra of the sine, right? So we'll change that to be the next one, right? So what is this? This is triangle, right? So A2 is triangle. So you're gonna have to read the manual. You gotta look this stuff up. So what's A2? And then if we start messing with the spectra, we can go positive or negative with it. Right, this does a detune. And if I go far enough, I get intervals. Right, I think it's 2 octaves worth. And you can go up as well. Or maybe more than 2. So I should look it up in the manual. All right, let's see, what else? Right, sawtooth wave. Again, detuning. So there's really 2 oscillators running there. Square. This is a square with a high pass filter. Again, we can detune them. This is a pulse wave, so a square that's been squashed a bit. The duty cycle's been changed. Right? And this, in this case, it doesn't change detuning, this changes pulse width. So you can actually modulate the pulse width. There's no LFOs in this, but you could modulate it with velocity of your strikes. All right, let's see what else. Right, T-bridge oscillator, right? This is for plucks and struck things. Another T-bridge oscillator. Right. You want to get your marimba, what is that? I saw an article go by about it's like a marimba, but it's made of stone. Let's see. There's a few different FM algorithms that you can play with for your weird noises. Right. It all comes down to the ratio, so you'll have to work that out, do some exploring. I think there's 4 FM different algorithms. And then these are harmonic resonance algorithms. Again, tuning. And I probably shouldn't go through all of these, but let's see, there's 6 variations of this. Some of them enharmonic, some of them following the sort of musical harmonic series. And let's see, the D of drumhead membranes. Right? Remember, we're talking about a lot of tuned percussion. So I think there's 4 variants of this. Or 7. All right. And then we get into the P's. I think it's for percussion. Classic sort of tuned percussion. Glockenspiel, marimba. Right? And then some cymbals. You do your cymbal modeling. And you could pitch all of this up and down. So if you want to do a splash or a hat or a big crash or a ride. What comes after C? And ring mod oscillators. So you could get your space whales on with the ring mod on this thing. Anyway. Okay, so hopefully I can edit this mess down into something that's, coherent. But, so this has been a look at the Nord Drum 3P. This is not sponsored. This is just me being a synth nerd. I wanted a drum synth for building drum kits, and it is definitely good for that. But just added bonus, and I got really excited. It's basically 6 monosynths that you can use to do tonal stuff. So I guess that's about it. I hope this was entertaining or informative for you. I hope I made you want a Nord Drum 3P. Again, I don't get a kickback, and I don't have affiliate links or anything like that. You have to go find one and get it yourself. But they're super fun. I really am enjoying mine. And so thanks for your time. And as always, you have been watching Synth Seeker. Have a good day.